And then Birdsong adds, because I attacked Byrne, in brackets, I think he sucks. I'll always think he sucks. He's responsible for some of the ugliest comics I've ever seen. No one will ever change my mind about that. Close parentheses. A lot of the comments were about that, but a few gems slipped through. And okay, yeah, let's deal with the gems, and then we will come back to the John Byrne Terry Austin thing. Anonymous said, "Thanks for taking one for the team, Matt. I thought the X-Men issue would cause a big delay. I hope Dave is able to get through all 50 pages eventually. Sounds like we should be good for a 2027 or 2028 release." We don't do that around here. I have to keep telling Birdsong that we don't schedule things, even hypothetically. When I said that I picture this taking at least 2 years, I didn't mean that as a fixed time. That inside of 2 years, yes, we will be there. We'll get there when we get there. None of us is making a living at this 82 tour book. It's just something we all have an interest in moving along at whatever pace pace it moves along, and we're just chatting about it. There's no reason to get personal, and there's no reason to have your nerves frayed to a breaking point on any of this stuff. At least at a moment of Cerebus, we've got to have an environment where it's like the person's just offering an opinion. Don't worry about it. They're not disagreeing with you because you're wrong. They're disagreeing with you because they're disagreeing with you. They have a different opinion. They are persuaded differently. It would be cool if there was something big for Cerebus's golden anniversary next year, like there will be for Star Wars. Not remotely comparable, I'm afraid. All that we can say about Cerebus in its 49th year, coming up on its 50th year, is there's about 100 people who have not been persuaded to pretend that Dave Sim and Cerebus don't exist, and in fact think that Cerebus and Dave Sim are worth celebrating. If you want to celebrate that in 2027, sit down and reread one of the books. Trying to figure out how to make any kind of celebration, let alone a Star Wars celebration, just not going to happen. We haven't been completely eradicated yet, and that's the best that can be said about Cerebus and Dave Sim. I think the idea is for this to make the fall Patreon cycle, so we might still get the tour book this year if Dave can sign off on a circa 50-page version he's happy with. They can use all the extra unapproved material for the 200-page edition for higher tier or rewards or something. That's an interesting idea. One of those taking the newspaper article approach, where newspaper articles, probably it doesn't happen now, but it was one of the guiding rules of newspaper journalism that you have the strongest lead. Here's the first paragraph with your strongest declarative statement, and then supporting facts, and gradually having paragraphs that aren't really essential to the story. So even lazy editors can just go, we don't have room for these last 3 paragraphs. Take those off. Okay, now it fits. All the news that fits. Not all the news that's fit to print, all the news that fits. And, I could picture doing that. I could picture saying, okay, well, you were all there when we were putting it together. There's only like 100 of us, and most of them do visit a moment of Cerebus every once in a while, and would go, "Oh, okay, what's this? I never even heard about this. Oh, okay, got it." And at some point we could say the 50 page version has all of this material, but it doesn't include this, and it doesn't include this, and it doesn't include this. Um, there's a lot of different possibilities there, but that's way up ahead. What I'm picturing right now is 50 page, beginning, middle, and end. There you go, and then possibly expanding that to 75 pages, depending on everybody having a rough online copy at a moment of Cerebus and reading through the 50 pages and going, I think it maybe needs another page here. Or I think one of these pages could be cut. Or this looks like this would probably be more suitable 4 pages later on than it is here. But, I'm willing to listen to other opinions if other people have other opinions. But good suggestion that higher tier awards would lead to, here is a 200 page version of the book, but it's going to cost you $200. So, seriously think it over. It's 2026, and $200 is getting very, very hard to come by. Great news about the X-Men roadblock, but what about Dave's idea of using wedding photos of 80s comics women? Not sure it's a good idea or even legal or feasible. Well, it would definitely be for with their permission. That's what I've been talking about all along, that I think that's a sensible thing anytime that you're documenting women, is that they have to sign off on whatever picture you want to use of them, because most women have a very short list of photos that they want used of them, and you don't want women cringing because they get the book in and they go, oh, they used that photo, oh, that's horrible. I don't like any of my photos, but that would definitely be closer to the bottom of my list than the top of my list. Got to say, when you say pre-186 Dave Sim and women, most people think of the rock star Dave, who was getting more P-word than Alan Moore and Rob Liefeld combined. That really wasn't the situation. I remember being at Pop the Gator here in Kitchener when that was going on Queen Street, and it was a jazz club with real good jazz musicians, and I forget who it was. It was a female acquaintance. I knew who she was. She came over to say hello, and she said, "You're like sort of famous." And I said, "Yeah, sort of." And she said, "And you're like sort of rich." And I said, "Yeah, sort of." And she said, "Why don't you have women hanging all over you?" And it's like, man, you tell me and we'll both know. There are guys who get singled out in terms of, we're not sure what this one is, but he's not matching any of the templates. And anybody who wants to take a run at him, just let us know, and we'll back off. So it's like, I would usually get one. I would go through like dead time period, and then, okay, let's try this one. And, I would figure out in a space of time, okay, I know who this is. If it looks like her, it is her. And, whatever other attribute that they went, okay, this one's the same as that one, but she's got this attribute instead of that attribute. Does he like that? And it's like, it was just sex for me. It was not, there was never a point where I was going, I'm looking for the next Mrs. Sim. It's like, no, I did that. And it wasn't, nothing against Deni. It's like, this just isn't my kind of thing. And I, I don't see myself changing in that. The reading my tour diary, it's like, it's really weird how many arguments we had. It's like practically every entry. Okay, we were going to go and do this, and then that started an argument, and we argued about that. And it's like, yeah, I don't like arguing. It's arguing seems to me like a colossal waste of time. Whoever you're arguing with and whatever you're arguing with them about. One of the wisest things that Steve Ditko ever said to me was, do you realize exactly how impossible it is to change anyone's mind about anything? And it's like, boy, true enough. It's like I was a devout monotheist. He was an Aristotelian objectivist. And he never came anywhere near to persuading me, don't you really think that you should be more like me? And I didn't come anywhere close to persuading him. Don't you think you should be closer to me? It's to me, relationships was about arguing. It's like Callan, the stewardess that I went out with, said, everything to you is just foreplay. And it's like, well, yes, I've had all of these discussions with as many women as I've had any kind of involvement with. I know exactly what you're going to say. You know exactly what I'm going to say. I'm not a feminist. You are a extreme feminist who thinks of herself as, I'm not in any category. Don't be telling me that I'm a feminist. It's like, they're all feminists, and they've all been feminists since 1970. It's so it was okay. As long as the sex is good, we'll keep having sex. When the feminism starts getting to a screamy level, it's like, no, I can't keep doing this. As I said to Susan Alston, what you need is a squishy feminist to push around. I said this to her on the phone, and she goes, no. And it's like I went, oh, you couldn't make that up. It's one of those, okay, we made it as far as we could, but you are you and I'm me, and there's absolutely nothing that is going to bring us closer together, and certainly nowhere close to, we really should think about spending the rest of our lives together. Not sure the average female bookstore browser with zero interest in comics is going to buy a book just because there's a picture of Colleen Doran or whoever's nuptials. Well, again, it depends on the bookstore. Judging by the environments that Dagan showed me and talked to me about where he sells his books, pretty esoteric group. And I don't think particularly predictable, and are really just looking for, oh, this looks interesting. I will at least pick this up off the shelf with its full cover display and flip through it to see what's in here. It might still be unpublishable. We don't know if Dagan is going to stick strictly to, I'm not publishing anything unless everybody and their lawyer has signed off on everything that's inside this, which wasn't the case in this case. It's like I've got 220 pages of just everything thrown in but the kitchen sink. And I can't really imagine that he ran all of this past the Waverly Press lawyer to go, okay, let me know if any of this doesn't pass muster, and we'll just pull it up. I think we're back to you, Matt. Yes. I sent you printed copies of Birdsong's color-corrected photos of the stop at the Marvel offices. In the Louise Simonson at her desk photo, either the original Art 2 or a photocopy of the cover to New Mutants #1 is on the right above the blue dictionary. Okay, let's get that up for all of our viewers to look at. I got to tell you that I took the Louise Simonson photo and I experimented with it with something that's been working with the Strange Death of Alex Raymond strips that are reproduced from the original artwork, where I was trying to enlarge them from the book, but as soon as you enlarge them, it just completely breaks up into nothingness. And then I got this idea of what if I take my video camera and use the photo function, which is pretty high resolution, and take a photo of the strip in the book, and then do it as close as I can get to the book as possible, so that a single panel is taking up the whole image area on the camera, and then download that onto my laptop and enlarge it. Use the enlargement function to fill the laptop screen, and then take a screen capture of that and then print that out. And that worked like a charm. I was very, very pleased with myself when I came up with that. It's like, okay, now I know exactly what this strip looks like, because this is cheating on magnification. It's not real magnification, but the photo function cheats the laptop, cheats the screen capture, and I end up being able to say, okay, I know exactly what all those lines look like, because they're absolutely huge, and I can just print it up. So that was a big step forward with Strange Death of Alex Raymond. I tried that with the Louise Simonson photo. I thought, she's really pretty, but it's a very, very tiny face. I wonder if that works with this. I'll just get as close as I can to the photo as I can with the photo function on the camcorder. Take that, download it onto the computer, enlarge it, 1, 2, 3 times kind of thing, and then print it out from there. I didn't even get to the printout stage. It's like, whatever this adding the red back in thing is, with the Louise Simonson photo, it's a horror movie. It's she looked like she fell asleep on the beach and got this horrible, horrible sunburn across her face. So just before Rolly got here today, I was doing that, and I went, okay, let's try contrast, let's try highlights, let's try moving all of these toggles and see what they do. And the only one that seemed to work was desaturate the color. In other words, turn it from a color photo into a black and white photo. It could maybe be used with the actual photo as an enlargement effect, where here's this enlarged photo that you're already looking at in this color inset, and here's the black and white. I can mock one up to show you what it looks like, but no, very sad. No, it doesn't work. Doesn't work with photographs, but it works great with Rip Kirby strips. Yeah, check the New Mutants #1 cover above the blue dictionary. Does it look like the original art? Anybody want to guess on that? Is it the original art, or is it just a printed out photocopy, or a stat? And Anonymous said, in terms of linking the tour book to Marvel movies, why not mention things happening in the comics in October 1982? that showed up in movies later. That's a great idea. That's very, very good. Even if it's just around October 1982, the closer that we get to that, the more that we can say, okay, whatever the 1980 tour was about, and whatever the X-Men ended up being about, here's synchronicity in these two, comic art metaphysics. A quick Google search indicated that Iron Man number 163 was released then, and it had the first appearance of Obadiah Stone, i.e. the bad guy in the first Iron Man movie that kicked off the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Good one. Good one. How we condense that, I think you could probably just handle that with a photo of the actor and a photo of the Obadiah Stone character shot from the original artwork. Put them side by side, put a caption to it, and just say, here's what was in the offing. Here's what was decades away, but was what was happening at the same time. Good one. Good one. Not sure Dave wants to get into that if the idea is to appeal to lay people. Just to have something like Dave and Deni visited Marvel in October 1982, a key time for the company. Comic book stories at this time included X, featured in the Marvel blockbuster Y. There you go. Good one. That's not even 2 full lines of type. And I can picture that going straight into the book. Because we're mentioning characters and ideas, not specific panels, that saves the X-Men homework issue of matching up panels to movie timestamps. Good point. Good point. And Dave Copperman said, not to be, quote, that guy, unquote, but Louise Simonson's maiden name was Alexander. Jones was her first married name, for which I confess I don't know if there's a term. That's a good point as well. What do you call a first married name, apart from first married name? And on an update that included who was winning, Please Hold versus 82 Tour, Birdsong said, I sent Dave a check for over $21,000 this week, and I vote for Please Hold for Dave Sim. Kristen said, yes, Birdsong. Eddie said that money was the Kickstarter check and therefore doesn't count. Ah, wouldn't it be great to win by $21,000 over the 82 tour book? Anonymous said, serious question, if we go back to Please Hold every month, does that mean the tour book will never come out? How about we just propose a 6-month or whatever Please Hold sabbatical and ask people to give cash if they agree or disagree with that proposal? Alternatively, if cash is a focus, why not have people bid to ask all the Please Hold questions? Say 10 questions max. Any questions you like. Highest donation wins. So if someone wants to spend $500 to have Dave talk about Spider-Man or Star Wars or the Book of Job, hey, $500 is $500. You took the words right out of my mouth. It used to be entertaining on the Cerebus group back in the day when everyone would end up talking about everything and nothing. People will pay way more cash to set a show's agenda than they will just to hear a show. The most popular Star Wars podcast does that, and I think it's called Rebel Force Radio VIP. But the winner could have a whole show on KISS or communism if they wanted. Yes, this is starting to sound like the Cerebus and hell of a question mark. Netfucks. Television streaming that respects your boundaries. Not only respects your boundaries, but lets you tell us what the documentary is going to be about. So I might be stealing that from you, Anonymous, and I will definitely give you credit in the Cerebus and Hell with a question mark book if I do use that. Anonymous said, I think it will still come out eventually, but Dave won't commit to a particular date. Yes, thank you, until he's had a chance to review everything. Okay, that's everything I've been sitting on about the 82 tour book. Sorry for 28 pages, but I thought you should know. No problem, Matt. This is sort of a fusion of Please Hold and the 82 tour book. So maybe we can do that as an incentive next time. It's, assuming that 82 tour book is just going to keep winning, and we'll keep forging ahead as best we can. Maybe we could have, buy a lottery ticket that will allow you to decide that the first question or comment question from Please Hold for Dave Sim from April that we never got to, Dave Sim will do that as a kind of Please Hold for Dave Sim commercial right in the middle of our 82 tour book show. Okay, there you go. And that section was 26 minutes and 39 seconds, but who's counting? And I got another prayer time coming up. I hope Rolly's out the back, and I can just hand this off to him, and it will be winging its way to Wisconsin. Everybody have a good day.
Cerebus was the name of the magazine. Her sister and brother provided the aardvark and Vanaheim of the publishing company's name when they realized that Cerebus had been misspelled and ad-libbed that Cerebus was the name of the aardvark mascot cartoon, Cerebus the aardvark. It had a nice ring to it.